What's going on, everybody? Time for a little late YouTube recap here. Wasn't able to get on yesterday on kind of an accident. There was a Mustang that tried to take me out on my R1. So that is now totaled out, and I am very sore. So elbows, ankles, knees, I got rash. We got beat up, man. Mustang drivers, I tell you. So let's get into the recap here. Nice and uncomfortable. So starting with the X count on Twitter, like always. I posted this up obviously yesterday. We had some identifications here on some short metrics. Again, we had NQ around 18,306 all the way down to 18,255. Same with the ES, down to 5,249. So we identified those gaps early, and then we had a realized here about 56, 25 of the big, 392.50 on the Ninja Trader. Small account 15K challenge, which we will do an update on in a minute here. So gaps filled on that. So let's get into this. So we go to that NQ, right? We started way up here. It had that volatile pop open and then, drop back down because the data was meh. It's not that big of a deal. So the pop at the open here, we had that come down, fill the first gap, popped, and then we knew that was going to be a fake downside. But how did we knew that was going to be a fake upside? How do we know it was going to swap to a downside? Well, we had one gap, two gap. Now the first gap did fill right away in the morning on NQ, and then we needed to wait for the secondary drop to fill the second one. But the reason that these are much stronger than others is we had multiple gaps on multiple different tickers, right? So if you go back to the futures on ES, we also had that gap down here. Nope, might have deleted this one already. Or we're on the wrong one. Bam. Alrighty. So we did have the gaps here on ES. So again, we filled that one early, pushed down, hit that, and then walked itself back down. So in the morning here, we did take this one on ES prior to the open. We got that big pop and then washed back out. Now those two gap identifications were very big for us. And let's get into the reasons why on the Fibonacci. So we had an algo made here on the Fibonacci, and you can see this is just mega clean here today. The Fibonacci was made from an algo. So an algo is this candle right here, high-low of the 5-minute chart. We had this beautiful little guy created. So we fibbed that out to the upside, and rules always apply. So what do? We look for anything above or below the 100 fib, came back down, hit the golden pocket, right? Up to, always target number 1618, check. After that, which way does it go? It either pushes out to the 2618 or comes back to the 100 fib and then back to the golden pocket. And then the final target of the 0 fib. We know how the fibs usually react. Now, it is a Friday, so the psychology takes over as, do we have catalyst to push to that 2618? Nope, we had nothing this week. We had no CPI, no Powell, no nothing. Fed speaks and some warrant headlines, right? And inevitably, we were very close to our final target for the week. Now, we could still get this, but remember, I was calling for the 2618 overlapped right here at 523.54. So this was our end-all, be-all call here from our 4-4 daily candle. We got super close to that by the end of the week, as we've been calling for that all week from down here, from that 50. Anything above that 50, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth day here pushed all the way back up, super close to our target, but you'd obviously want to be out ahead of time, not waiting for an exact level tag. So let's look at these day trades again. So this fib box pushed up to that 1618, came all the way back down, and then we said we had a gap fill. So for my team, I was like, hey guys, if we get back inside this fib box right here, we start to lose the golden pocket. We most likely would come back down to that gap fill. Again, we just had a couple gap ups, one filled on the third. This is another one that should fill. So, and it's going to be kind of a lazy Friday. So once the volatility open, we only try to trade the first hour and a half, 2 hours. That's where the best trading is. And after we hit that, it's going to slow back down. And sure enough, very, very, very slow, dead market. And then same with Qs today. There we go. Same exact thing. Now, two things here on the Qs are pretty cool. We used Thursday's data candle. This is the high-low on the jobs data on Thursday, right? Plumps the market up. And you notice here, not even using the pre-market here. We'll do this one next for Friday's pre-market, but Thursday's pre-market, look at this one right here on this Fibonacci. Beautiful sequence here. We'll set them all to blue and ice so we can see them nice and clean. But right here was the box for jobs, and notice what the price action did. 1618 back down to golden pocket, 1618 higher low through the night. We said we'd probably burst back up and towards that target, hit 2618, came back down, big push down to the 2618 again, huge push, 423.60. That is a very small percent chance that we get all the way up there within days of a Fibonacci. So we knew anything under 443.78, we called short on the pop. And let's look for extra confirmation now in Friday's algo right here. Again, this is going to be a high-low sequence of this algo made. Boom, and same jam applies. So not only do we have that big old daily fib, the big old 423.60 from Thursday's pre-market, we have Friday's pre-market. We also have this 1618. What did it do? Pop back up 100. Golden pocket, broke out, consolidation 1618, could not hold it, right back down to gap fill. So perfectly to plan because of those gaps that we had on ES and NQ, right? So hopefully that makes sense. When we had those keep staying open over and over again, we have opportunity to follow through with a lot of this stuff. We can anticipate what the market's going to do off data just by having multiple gaps, not just a single gap here, there, because we did leave an NQ gap quite a bit of ways. I have it on some other charts. I'm not sure if we have it down, but it's 18,124 or so, something like that. Did we fill that one? No, we smacked that one. There was one more lower, but we have one that's at like 39, something like that. It might be low. There it is. So we have one that did not fill way down at 18,029, just about. So way back down there, you can see. And all gaps will fill eventually once it hits that resistance point. So when we start to downtrend from our uptrend call of filling up that 4-4 candle on the daily, we will end up coming back down here to 18,028 to fill this gap. So we had this rip rally week, 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course the Monday on start, and almost hit that target again on SPY, which was that 4-4 candle. Now, that pretty much summed up the day trade and how we killed it. So let's get into a little transparency like we always love to do. So I'm going to grab onto NinjaTrader here. So I'm going to log in here. And remember, this is starting with a $15,000 account. Okay. So we put 15K in one account here. We got multiples here on NinjaTrader. So if I go right into the trade tab here, should bring me to live trading, and this is our cash balance from the 15,000. Now, how we love proof here, we can come to performance history, and we can do this past week. So 5/5 to 5/11. That's obviously going to give us the last week's data. And we're just going to go ahead and download a PDF of that. So we got downloads folder up here. Boom, boom. We got a whole mess of stuff in there. Download PDF. Boom, that'll bring us to the download tab. Right, pow. Okay, so this is my trade report for it. Gross without commissions. Now, I overtrade, we scalp a lot in small accounts. So gross P&L right here, about 5 after all commissions, trade fees. Yeah, I know it's rather large, but we took home 3,872.42. Not a single red day. So throughout the week. Now we got our performance. We only had one little red start to the week, as you see there, starting on the time frames, but everything else as far as performance base goes was really good. We can go through every single trade here in the performance tab, which is cool. And if you go through each and every one of my scalps, which was a butt ton, yeah, we had a good layout. I think there's another way to do this for orders, position, cash history. Let's do the same thing. Download PDF of cash history. And I think it tells me down. Hey, look at that. Nope. Not what I wanted to see. Maybe it's account bounce. Subscriptions, order details, clients, account bounce history. There we go. Download that PDF. Open this one. Another dud. There was a setting on here that could show position, orders, performance, cash, order. Well, whatever. You get the point. Regardless, we made just a smidge under 4K. We had 100% green days across the board if you're following the YouTubes here. There was a better cash history where it showed what I made every single day and the account bounce history. Was that what it was? Let's try one more. No, I think we already tried that one. Well, regardless, you get what I'm talking about. So tons of transactions there, tons of scalps. You know what it is. But regardless, it tells me my week's P&L. So we made 3,800 on the small account. We're just above 19K coming into week 2. So we're going to come up with some Fibonacci lessons here. So stick around and tune in for the next video. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you soon.